Hello everyone, this is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. So, I think I can probably finish this today. I don't have very much to do. Last time I was able to finish the castle, now I just gotta give it some of its creepy clouds, do some stuff on the ground over here, and the moat, and then a little bit like on clouds here, and the bats, and that's gonna be about it, really. Let me just double check to make sure I don't have any layers hidden. I don't think I do. Not ones that I actually tend to keep. Oh yeah, man, that's a blast from the past. I put this here when I was checking values. I was just like, wait, what is that layer? But... okay. But yeah, I mean, I've got all my stuff showing. But the first thing I actually want to do today is a minor correction on Runie herself. Just very minor, but when I was looking at it today, I was like, man, this right here does not look right. So I just want to make that look a little bit better, and then I'm gonna go back and carry on with the background. So let me see, where is that? That's the inner part of the dress. Here it is. Okay. It's not gonna take much to fix this. It's just a minor thing. I didn't like the way it was interacting with the frill. These things happen. There. Now just gonna smooth it a little, but yeah, no, that's all I wanted to do, really. And then I'll just put a little bit of purple up here, just to make it look like it's rolling a little bit. I guess I should turn off the foreground if I'm gonna do that. I don't have to. I'll just pull it from the swatch. Okay. Where is the purple color I was using anyway? Over here in the corner. Alright, perfect. For just... man, there's lots of colors in this. There we go. Let it roll back just a little bit here. Oh yeah, that's better. That's a little bit better. Okay, I'm satisfied. I told you, it was just one of those really, really minor things. One of those just... it was bothering me, that's all. So there we go. Okay. Now I can kind of get back into everything, and I mean... the really good news is that I don't see anything on the castle I want to fix. I think the castle looks fantastic. Basically, pretty much everything I wanted to do with it. So, you know, let's go ahead and finish it off. Let's go ahead and draw some ominous castle clouds. Wee. Okay. No, that's the background clouds. Where's my castle clouds? There you are. There's the castle clouds. Okay. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything set for the color of the clouds there. I'm gonna go ahead and clear them because they're totally in the wrong spot because I had to move a bunch of stuff in the castle around. And I will keep the foreground on still, just so I know which areas need attention and which ones don't. So, here we go. So for this, I'm going to grab the darker color for them from the background and the lighter color from the moon. And I don't want them to be too contrasty. In fact, I'm going to put it underneath my shenanigans layer so that this way, this will be darker the whole way through. It'll be better that way. Okay. Now I'm just considering where I want to put them. I want to keep the snake pretty visible, but it definitely needs a little bit of ominous cloud on it. Otherwise, it just will not look ominous enough. You know? And that kind of feeling I do think is very important. So it's going to be a little bit hard to see them at first. That's fine. Kind of the way it should be. They really should not be drawing too much attention to themselves. And I'll just plop them through, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry about big shape language or anything. I'm just going to plop in some clouds, put them where I think they look nice, and I'm going to call it good. So I'll just get the basics in here, and it's fine if they are a little bit invisible. I'll make them a little bit more visible when it comes time to add the highlights. But I just kind of want to get things started like this. I don't want to cover up my big window here too much. It has to be covered a little bit, otherwise it won't look right. But I want to keep most of it visible. That's pretty important. I'll just plop these guys through real quick, and I'll start plopping in some lighter areas. I want to get a feel for where I want to put these things and the general shape I want them to hold. Okay, and this one's going to get taken back a lot. I don't want it to be quite this dark over the moon, but that's okay. That'll be done with highlights. So I'll just put in its basic shape there, and I think this is a good place to start. So let's see, the light is coming from the left, mostly from the moon. So I'll go ahead and just kind of start brushing in some light areas on these ominous looking clouds. And that'll, again, still just kind of feeling my way through, figuring out where I want these things to go, what they should cover up. Just all that good stuff. Getting a feel for how far forward and how far back each of these clouds are. How much space they should cover up. And in fact, I'm going to zoom out a little bit to do this step, because this is when they're going to start becoming very, very visible. And I want to make sure that they are all in good spots, and I'll be switching back and forth on my colors a lot. Just plopping in some clouds here and there. Okay. Do I want any down here? I don't think so, actually. I think they're fine just being up here. And this one, in fact, I think I'll make a little bit larger. Because it's closer. So I think I want it to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, and you can tell it's closer because it's covering this tower specifically. And this is the closest area. I'll even extend it a little further down here, just so it covers those walls a little bit. We'll let it do something like this. Just a little cloudy fingers reaching all the way across here. And I think that works. Let's see. I think I want to show a little bit more of this building right there. So I'll take it back just a little. But yes, overall, I think it's good. Okay. And now it's just a matter of kind of varying the various sizes and shapes, just so that this way it doesn't look too samey and consistent. Clouds are not known for being samey and consistent. They are very wild and free, and they do what they want. So I got to make sure that I kind of keep that impression. And this, I think, is a little bit too much for this area. So let me pull them back a little there. You can leave them just a little bit transparent. Here, on the other hand, I think I can afford to put a few. And I don't mind that it's kind of blending into the clouds in the background. I'm totally fine. It makes sense for them to kind of be together. They're a pair. Just a good little pair. Okay, and I think that's pretty good. Let me add just a little bit more through here. This cloud I think has to be a little bit larger, just to contrast from the ones below it. Like this one a little bit longer too. How do I feel about this? I'm gonna think about it for a second. Because something about them just feels too boring. Okay, I think I know exactly what's making me feel that way. I want to angle them a little. Speaking of, I realized that I forgot to angle the castle. And so I should probably do that before I keep working on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock the clouds I just did, and I'm gonna lock the moat too. And I'm gonna angle the castle just very, very slightly. You know, just because the entire image is angled, and I meant to do that at some point and just didn't. So I'm gonna do that now. I just want the image to look a little bit more unstable. Just because I think it fits the kind of vaguely sinister mood here. But you can see, I didn't move it that much. This far. That's all I did. Not far at all. But now this line at the bottom isn't straight, and I think I do want this tower to be just a little bit higher, but fortunately, that's easy to do. So I'll just grab this part here. It's all behind her hair, so I can literally just grab it and lift it up. There. And no one will know the difference. It's perfect. Okay. So now I can carry on with what I was doing. So there we go. Image does indeed feel a little bit more unstable to me. I'm also not sure how I feel about this bat wing. I'm still not entirely happy with where it is, but it's fine. I'll worry about it in a second. I want to get these clouds. I want to get these clouds going. And I do think that whether or not I finish today is going to depend entirely on how much I feel like derping with clouds. To be fair, it's very easy to derp around with clouds. You can do whatever you want with clouds. Like, even more than usual. But clouds are one of those things that you just make something vaguely fluffy and people will know immediately that it's a cloud. I've actually been looking at clouds outside more and just curious about how they look. And I remember seeing one cloud during my daughter's cross-country practice. And I looked up at it and I'm just like, man, that is like the weakest cloud I have ever seen. Whoever painted that did not bother to go back and finish it. And to be clear, this is a real-life cloud, but it just what made me think. What it made me think of. It was the silliest cloud I had ever seen in my life. It legitimately looked unfinished. It was kind of hilarious. Okay. Alright, I feel better about the clouds now. I think that they're looking okay, so they're probably ready to go be rendered. But in true me fashion, whenever I draw a new thing, I'd like to look away for a second. So we're not going to run to the clouds yet. We're going to run to the bats. Let's do it. The bats have to happen too, and looking at them, their locations are great. I think that this pink here is way too contrasty, but that's okay. I will draw it normally first, and then I will fix it. I will take back that color until I'm happy. So here we go. Rendering bats time. Pretty much none of them are going to have a lot of details. I might put some little pink eyes on this guy. And maybe a couple of them. The ones way back here, like here, will definitely not get anything. But the ones that are just a little bit closer, I might give them little eyes. This is the point where I start just really crafting every little piece. I don't mind making them look like birds. Bats are bird adjacent, so it's fine. They're like birds, except creepy. I actually personally think bats are pretty cute. Maybe a little bit too rodent-like for me to fully appreciate them, but they definitely got some cuteness to them. So you can see some of them are getting ears. Only if they're close enough where it kind of makes sense. But this guy, for example, will not be getting any pink, even though it would probably be showing here. I guess he might. I might see how it looks after I kind of clean up the rest of these guys. This guy is like, looks like it's landing on her hair, and that is unacceptable. So I'm going to move him just slightly up. Now it's perfect. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just another case of I want to make sure that the bats are either in front of something or behind something. I do not want them to be just like right on the edge. That is uncomfortable and unclear. All right, let's make this guy's wings a little bit better. I think it'll do something a little bit more like that. And then I can get some of the little spikes on that side. Perfect. We're in the final stretch, so everything must be getting into its final form now. Because soon the picture will be done. There is no, I will worry about this later at this point. There will be no more later for long. Means I have to do a lot of inconvenient things, but man, does it feel good. Just knowing that, yeah, indeed, there will be no more later soon. The picture will just be done. It's always weird to think about, especially for one that I've been working on for as long as this one. Let's see. I actually kind of liked those guys overlapping, but it doesn't really make sense with where I put this wings, so I guess it'll just be like this. Oh, and I also have a little one right down there, and I think that's fine. I'll just let this little guy kind of exist out there. I'm actually pretty okay with where I put most of the bats, you know, the guy that was like landing on her hair aside. So I don't really need to fix any of that. This is just a matter of refining what I already liked. And here I have another spot where it's kind of rubbing up against her hair in a way I don't like. So I'm just gonna pull that back just a little. This one looks like it's a dive bombing straight for the ground, but you know, I'm not gonna judge this bat. I'm sure there's like food or something there. Who knows? Something clearly caught its eye though. I do always like to think up little stories for every little thing that's happening here. And what all these guys might be doing. I think it's fun. And a lot of the time, like, I don't do everything with every tiny story I just make up in my head here. But sometimes it can actually help make the image a little bit better. Okay, not quite satisfied with this one. Since we're going into the final stretch, I must be satisfied with all things. Okay, is that like all the background ones? Oh, nope. Missed one right there. But yeah, all those look fine to me. I'm not worrying about this one or this one just yet. I just want to check the ones like way in the background. And I mentioned it last time, but the two views that I really like to check anytime I'm drawing something is one at 100%. So if people zoom in to look at the details, it'll look good. And then the other one where it fits on the screen, because this is probably how people are going to see it. Well, they scroll through the various places I put it. More accurately on like Twitter or something, it's probably going to be more like this. But, you know, I can only do so much. Okay. But to be fair, if it looks good at like a 33% with it fit on the screen, it probably looks mostly okay at Twitter sizes. Gonna take away his eyes for a little bit while I worry about all these little things here. I kind of like there being a little gap between the wings and the body here, so I'm gonna make that just a little bit bigger. And I'm still gonna just paint in black for now. I know, it definitely shouldn't go down that low. So I'll just let it fade behind her hair. And I'll figure out what I want to do with this pink in just a little bit. That's why I wanted to save these two bats for last, because for one, they're the closest and thus will be the most detailed. This guy is actually still pretty far away, so I actually think that some of this pink might be working against me. But he is considerably closer than, like, say, this one or this one. So he will still be just a little bit more detailed than the others. Okay, now I want to double check the bat back here again, because this one kind of goes behind her hair and stuff, but I think this looks okay. Okay, now it's time for this bat. Give him some cute little floppy bat ears. And then once again, I'm going to take away his eyes, just so I can paint that fresh once I'm ready to deal with all the pink. I actually don't think the pink looks too bad on this guy. I don't want his body to show through the hair there. Although, I don't know. I don't think that really makes sense, so... Gotta hide her for a second just so I can figure out where this guy's body is supposed to be. Yeah, that's better. Look, even if it's in the background, I do have to care about these things. Hello there, Beanie. Welcome back. All right. Looks good to me. Let's get those pink parts in. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to try some things. Like I said, the pink here feels way too contrasting right now. So I'll definitely have to do something about that. But for now, I'm just going to draw it the way it should. Draw it the way it is in the little reference here. Got cute little ears and little beady eyes. I see there's also some purple and stuff in it, but... oh no. So it's got some purple and stuff in it, but... I don't know, I still think that even with some purple in there, it'd be way too contrasty. So I'm just gonna have to think about how I want to handle this. But for the time being, gotta brush in the color. And I'll do it for all the little bats that I think should maybe have some little eyes. Okay, just a little there and a little bit here. This guy's kind of dive bombing, so I don't think we actually see his eyes. This guy's, I think they're going to be like right there. These ones I think are too far away, so I won't draw any for them. But this guy will have the biggest, most visible eyes. Because he is like right there. In fact, this guy is so right there, I think I would actually like to blur him a little. Not as much as these guys, but just a little bit. Just like right about there. And like I said, I actually think that the pink parts I have right there all look okay. So I don't think I need to touch this guy further. But I gotta think about what to do with that guy. I'm wondering if he'd look better. No, he doesn't. Okay. Yeah, it's like I was thinking about coloring some of the bats a lighter color, but they actually look quite good, mostly dark. I will still add some lights around a few of them, but only some. And even then, not a lot. Somewhere around there I think is pretty good, and I'll do the same for this guy. Around his little tummy. Okay, looks good to me. So I think what I'm going to end up doing for that guy right here is I'm just going to literally reduce the contrast. Just like that. And then I can take some more colors from the moon there and kind of brush through like this. And I think that's the bats. This guy might need a little bit more work, but the rest all seem fine to me. So I'm just adding a little bit of additional lighting to kind of blend this in a little better. And welcome back, Beanie. I feel like bat wings are very thin, so I'm kind of letting some more light come through there. Yeah, I think that should work. Cool. All right. Still gotta clean a little bit here, but the idea is working for me. So now it's just a matter of making it all look nice. So I'm treating it very, very carefully. Okay, and then from there, I do think that I want the eyes to still be a fairly bright pink. So I'll put them back just like that. Okay. And I think that does it for the bats. So let's go and see. Do I still like the clouds? Do I still like the clouds on the castle? Yeah, I think so. I think they'll look pretty good once I actually finish them. So I'll go ahead and just take some colors here. But I think before I do that, I still got this bat wing that I'm still not quite a fan of. I do think it needs to be there. It's just been really hard to place because I don't want it to cover the castle, and I don't want it to cover the clouds. So it's like, where? And I tried it over here, and I hated it. So I haven't been quite sure where I want to put this, but I do feel like I need something over here on this side. Couldn't tell you why, but I know it to be true. So let's figure out where to put that before I do anything further. I don't know. Do I like it over here now? Does it work now? Do I want it up here? I kind of like it partially covering her hair like that. Composition is hard. I actually think I like it back over here again. Okay, I'll put it there. Does mean that he needs a little bit more work to look good. Okay, so I guess I'm not quite going back to the clouds yet. But soon. Soon. Okay, there we go. I think that's okay. We'll see how I feel about it in 5 minutes. I mean, I might just change my mind again. Maybe it'll be like that tree branch on the other one where I just fix it every time. Who knows? We shall see. But for now, I do indeed feel up to rendering some clouds. So where is my cloud layer here? I lost it. There it is. Okay. So now I will pick the other color for my clouds. I think something around there looks pretty good. And I'll go in and actually make these look nice. Just like right now they've gotten started, but they do not look finished. So I just gotta prod at it a little. Maybe I'll use a texture brush. I don't want them to be too textury at this distance, because, I mean, we're quite far away from these ones. Yeah, that's too textury. We're quite far away from these ones, so I want them to feel a little bit more distant. Streaky, I guess. So I'll just use the airbrush. I think dabbing with the airbrush and just doing lots of little small dot structures will get me what I want, and maybe I need to just smudge certain areas when the time comes. Let me get in the basics first. So the airbrush has a lot of opacity options, so I will be pressing very hard as it gets close to the light source of the moon here, and very soft as it gets further away. And the parts that are more directly facing will get stuff like this. Always hard to do. Mouse drawing is very doable, though. I do think it is much harder. Just the main thing that you miss out on with a mouse isn't so much the general shape and it being easier to draw with a pencil, in my opinion. It's the lack of pressure sensitivity. So when you're drawing with a mouse, it's either on or off. You can't do what I'm doing here and press hard when I want the spot to be lighter and soft when I want it to be darker. Can't do that, and that's what makes it hard in my opinion. But if you're at a place where you, for whatever reason, cannot get a tablet with pressure sensitivity, then I would actually recommend looking into vector art. So that'd be like drawing in Inkscape or something. Because that's more about manipulating curves. And that is very doable with a mouse. I don't think so. Yeah, you're saying that you're trying to draw with a mouse? Because I stand by it. If you can't get a drawing tablet for whatever reason, then I do think vector art is worth looking into. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I do think that for mouse drawers or people that are interested in digital but can only draw with a mouse, you'll have much better luck with vector art. Because that's all about manipulating curves as opposed to what most people consider drawing. Oh, you're drawing a computer. Okay. I see. Okay. Okay, I suppose that's different. I do think vector art is neat, though. Alright, clouds are coming out now. This one looks pretty cloud-like. This is why I said that today, whether or not I finish is going to depend on how much I want to derp around with clouds. Clouds are just so perfect for messing around with. Whoa. Well, alright. It's okay, English is hard. Okay, I'm gonna move this on top of my shenanigans layer then. Oh, no, now it's way too bright. Okay, I'll just add in some other highlights later. It's alright, I haven't really had any trouble understanding you. I don't think that one was your fault. To be fair, I can only look at... I look over at chat for a few seconds, it's very easy to misread. Because even besides English being hard, trying to do 3 things at once is also hard. In my case, drawing, thinking about the shape of all the clouds and stuff, trying to read words, and trying to talk at the same time. Very hard too. I think it's only natural that sometimes I do not read the words correctly. Oh yeah, the Batwing used to be covering that part of the castle. Okay, I gotta fix that. So that's this area, I think. Yep, and I better get my swatch color. So that'll be you. And I'll give this guy a proper roof now that I have moved the bat. I want it to be roughly the same height as that one, so I think this is a little bit tall. So let's bring it down just a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I kind of want to give them roughly the same pattern as well. So I'll just draw the little lines there. And then a little bit just kind of coming down from the top like this. There we go. Okay. And now I should be able to draw clouds fairly freely once more. Alright, I should get my color. I don't really care if it's the same color as I had last time or not. It doesn't really matter very much. Okay. Back to cloud. Doing cloud things. I want these ones to be a little wispier. Right now they're looking a little fluffy. So... let's go ahead and I'm gonna take in my... one of my blenders and kind of smear it a little bit. And I'll go back and forth between that and my airbrush until I am fully satisfied. And then at some point I kind of want to incorporate some of the colors that I put into the clouds in the background. You know, maybe I should actually draw those clouds first. You know what, let's do it. Let's draw the background clouds first. I think they're looking mostly fine. They just need a little bit of finishing, I guess. Mostly just... I don't know, they could use a few shadows. I also kind of want them to overlap the moon just a little. Just a little. But I think at that point, they will indeed be just about done. So, yeah, I think this is mostly just going to be finishing touches, and then they'll be good. It's alright. Most of the time I assume that people asking that question are just saying things and probably don't actually care. But I am pretty okay. I don't know. I want it to be lighter on that side. There we go. So here I get the feeling I'm gonna have to pick several different colors for the shadows and just the areas of the color of the sky around. And then I'm also gonna put in some brighter lights where I just steal the color from the moon. And brush in those colors. But I actually kind of like the weird yellow color I have in them, so I kind of want to keep some of that. We'll just let a little bit kind of overlap here. Then I'll add some brighter spots here. I do think these clouds look pretty neat, though. So I am looking forward to kind of seeing them in their final state. I don't really want to pull them too far over the moon, though. Or at the very least, if I do, I want them to be very, very bright. Hello there, what is that? Grimir Cass? And I use a Wacom Intuos Pro. I believe I have it in the description. And yes, I have used Photoshop to draw. That's where I learned how to draw. I like Krita more than Photoshop personally. Photoshop is great for editing things, but I find Krita to be better for drawing. Once I switched, I never looked back. Alright, I want to get some of this yellow back in there. I think I need a slightly lighter one, though. There we go. Just pull that cloud into the moon. I have not. So I can't really speak into how good the other brands are. But I'd say in general, having something is better than having nothing. So just get what you can afford, and if you find that you really like art and would like to upgrade later, you can. Yeah, no problem. It's how I look at things. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a more budget-friendly tablet. It is still, unless you're doing vector art where you want to use a mouse for that, that is like literally the only thing you'd want to use a mouse for. Using a mouse with no pressure sensitivity for regular drawing, terrible. It feels really, really bad. So as long as it has a decent amount of pressure sensitivity, it'll be all good. And I should note that I do not use a screen tablet, and I actually strongly prefer the kind with no screen. But if you do go with that kind, learning how to actually stare at your computer and then move your hand on a surface that you're not looking at, definitely takes some getting used to. One of those grids. I have no idea what you're talking about, so probably not. But yeah, my tablet does not have a screen on it. I hook it up to my computer, and I use my computer monitor for the display. I prefer it this way because if the display was on the tablet itself, my hand would get in the way while drawing, and that would drive me nuts. And this way, I can see the entire screen at all times, and I like that. I actually did grab myself something for a laptop for more portable drawing, so the screen can become a tablet. And man, I have found it so hard to use because I have to draw directly at the screen, and my hand gets in the way, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So that is one area where you can potentially save some money if you get one without a screen. But that's only if you're like me and don't want your hand to be in the way while you're drawing. I just know that they tend to be a little bit cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. Mine is just a black surface. So there's nothing down there. And it's alright. It's just... I remember... I think I got my first tablet when I was like 13. And back then, screen tablets weren't really even a thing. So I got one that didn't have a screen, as you might imagine. And man, I remember learning how to use it. It took me a little while. It definitely took a little while to get used to, but after a while I did, and now I just can't imagine drawing with my hand in the way. Just one of those things. I'm trying to learn how to do it though, so this way I can use that aforementioned laptop, and, you know, if I take my kids to the park or something, then I can still draw. But it's hard. Alright, I'm gonna hide my castle clouds for a moment here, because I want to make sure I can draw the background clouds here well. Make sure that they're looking nice and puffy and creepy. Very important. Yeah. I prefer it. That's why I say, if you're buying your first tablet, you probably don't have to worry about it too much. It's always good to make informed purchasing decisions, but if you're a relative beginner, then there's only so much you can do, because you don't know what you're going to need. And you don't know what will feel good, so, you know, pick something, try it out, see what you think. Phew. Alright. But I think I am getting through these clouds here, and I think that they are looking pretty good. A little bit less stringy than before, which is maybe not a good thing in this context. But I still think they look okay. Let me see, do they still look kind of creepy? Yeah, I'd say so. I'll probably add a few more back here. But the ones back there will just be darker. I'm mostly just flopping down little lights on areas that I think are facing the moon. Yes. I do believe that there are even places where you can download brushes. I don't know where they are because I don't use custom brushes. I just use the defaults. But I'm pretty sure that they're out there. Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the nice things about open source software, is that they tend to make it very easy for just people in the community to contribute and make stuff. It's extremely common from what I've seen of open source projects, so yeah, and it even has a nice plugin system. I have one that I've downloaded myself that lets me center things. So that's not in Krita by default, but somebody made a plugin, and now it exists. So right now, my body's covering where it sits on my screen, but I use it very often. So even if it's not a default feature in there, a lot of the times someone somewhere will have wanted it, and will have created a plugin that you can just plop on in there and extend functionality however you want. It's pretty great. Okay. So I think these clouds are looking pretty good. I think I'm probably about done with this set, and then I'll draw a few more out here, I guess. I just want to add a few more streaks. Because I don't know, when clouds get super streaky, I think it makes them look a little creepier. I don't know why, but that is my opinion. So I definitely want to add a few more kind of like that. So let's get this kind of yellow in there, and I'll start kind of mapping out where I want some of these other clouds to be going. So I think something maybe like this. So they'll look a little off for a while, but I just gotta plop something down in order to make them eventually look right. Yeah. It's okay. They'll look like clouds eventually. But I just gotta get a base color in there. in order to make it look right eventually. Okay. And then as they get more over there, I'm not going to go as hard on the highlights. I feel like a lot of rendering clouds in a softer way, I guess, as opposed to what I would do if this was using harder shading. Is a lot of just dot 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 dot, and then after a while he just gets something vaguely cloud-like, and then it's just a matter of layering highlights over and over and over again until the right patterns start showing up. As with all things, sometimes it just takes a little while, but clouds are at least something you can do whatever you want with. So it's one of those areas that you basically can't mess up. So it just, I don't know, I can kind of turn off my brain and let my arm do the thinking for me. Sometimes it has some pretty good ideas. Alright, then I'll just let it get a little wispy out at the end here. This one's short. This one's a bit longer. And then I just gotta, I don't know, blend in some of the colors, I guess. And just go back and forth for all eternity until I'm happy. So I'm gonna start plopping in some highlights on this guy. And, yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and just plop in some highlights on all of them now. So they're gonna look fairly vague and immaterial for a little while. But that's fine. Eventually they'll start looking like those ones. It just takes a little bit. So this one, I started with kind of more of a mid-tone. So I'm going to want to put in some of the darker colors too. For here, I used more blue because that's kind of what I had going on in the background here, but over here it's more like red and purple. So I will use those colors over there instead. Okay. Over here is a little special because I have a bunch of other color filters and stuff here. So that'll be affecting how all this works out as well. But it's okay. I think this area can be a little bit darker. In fact, I think everything about this area can be just a little bit less detailed. I'll keep most of the detail on the clouds near her face. So over here. And things I think will get just a little bit less immaterial. Or a little bit more immaterial, rather. than, they are on the other side. Alright, and then I'm gonna zoom out and make sure I actually like this. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Let me see, I will need to take back some of my filters, though, because I need to make sure I can color pick accurately. So I'm gonna go ahead and take away the foreground for now. And let's see. Let's see. I also want to make sure that the direction of my clouds makes sense, so I'm going to hide her for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and brush in some very loose stuff here just so I know where I'm going with this. Okay, that is sufficient. Now I know where I'm going. Let's put her back. Perfect. So now I can trust that all my clouds make sense. And anything that looks like it doesn't make sense is just my brain worrying too much. It's a good way to be. Alright, so now let's start getting in some of those dark areas that I feel like I need. Oh yeah, so somewhere like this, and over here like this, and then I can take back certain areas that I don't like quite as much. So I'll let here be a little bit less hazy. And I am still just going to go for loose ideas and stuff here before I kind of render all of it out. I kind of like working in one big clump at a time, so I did this big clump and then part of this one. And so now I'm just kind of getting the gist for some of these other areas. And this one I think is a little bit bright, so I'm gonna pull it back just a little here. I do want a couple of bright areas in there, but not as much as I had. Okay. Now I can start getting kind of this guy over here. I want this area to be much darker than it currently is, so let's get some stuff in there. And then I can add the lighter parts. I think it's fine for this little spot here to be nice and bright. Because it is by that big snake pillar, and I want that to stand out a little bit. Because I think it's cool. So it makes sense to have a little bit of a lighter spot. Strictly speaking, I do think that this is too much contrast, but I know that I have a couple of layers that are going to help me out later, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. I will worry about that when the time comes. But as I say often, it is not yet time. Gotta do one thing at a time. Just one thing at a time. And I do kind of like that these look like creepy fingers just reaching across the picture. So I think that is working. Okay. So that should do it for most of the big picture stuff there. Yeah, sure does. I think I will take back this stuff just a little. I kind of wanted to wisp out a little bit more over there. Kind of around here and here as well. Because, I mean, look how nice and wispy the ends of this one are. So I want to do that for these guys too. There we go, that looks pretty good. So now I'm just gonna zoom in and finish it off, I guess. that's just a matter of dabbing color all over the place, making the darker spots a little darker, the lighter spots a little bit lighter, and just deciding how all these things should be blended together. And that's why I hid my foreground, because I needed accurate colors in order to blend things properly. But I think that these clouds are about done. I do. And then I'll go back to doing the clouds, kind of making the castle look foggy. And that should be it for cloud-based stuff. And I'm just making sure that there's nice patterns here and there. And that everything looks sufficiently interesting, I guess. Like, this is all sitting in the background, so it's not, like, super important, but it's good for atmosphere. It's very good for atmosphere. And I think that's the whole reason to add in clouds like this anyway. Or, you know, clouds in general, thinking about it. Because even just the nice, friendly, big, white, puffy clouds, they're great for atmosphere, too. They just lend themselves to a nice, cheerful, or relaxing atmosphere. As opposed to these ones where they're kind of meant to elicit a slight sense of dread. Let me see, I do feel like this area is a little bit too bright, so I'm gonna pull that back just a little. And then add a few key places that are bright. In just a second, I want to fill out the shadows too. Sometimes I think that cloud rendering looks more tedious than it is. Because, man, I am having a pretty good time right now. I'm just not thinking that hard, just plopping things down, and it's all coming together without much effort at all. So it's nice and relaxing. Just feel like I don't have a care in the world when I'm drawing clouds like this. And I think sometimes I need that feeling in my life. There we go. Nice and wispy at the ends. Perfect. Alright, let me add those couple of bright spots that I wanted. Gotta be careful not to overdo it. It's very easy to overdo it. But I think that's about what I want. So now all I gotta do is blend it in a way that makes me happy and maybe even add just a little bit more highlight. Highlights make everything better. As long as you do them right. There we go, I think that's good. And I think down here, I guess I'll clean up this area just a little bit, but I actually think all these guys look pretty good. Okay. And so now there's just this guy out here, which, once again, I feel like is a little bit bright. So I'm gonna pull it back just a little and then add highlights in key areas. But first I want to get his shadows, because I don't think he has strong enough shadows either. You can't be ominous without strong shadows. But you also can't have strong shadows without strong highlights. Because what makes things look bright and dark is about contrast, not about the actual color you're using. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that in, make things look nice and spooky. And then I kind of want to make the ends look wispy again. Just let it fade out into nothing. Alright, and then I just want to get that shape kind of perfected there. Actually, I don't like that one. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Now I can add kind of the wisps highlights. And that should let it kind of just fade out into nothing. Just little tiny dots. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Let's get those shadows in there. Let's get those shadows in there. Get this nice and dark the way I want it to be. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's give it some lights. I'll still take that from the moon itself. And just get those lightest points kind of along the edge here. Nice and bright. 'Cause like I said, I can't have this part look dark without this part looking light. Because it's all about contrast. That's what makes us feel those things. It's contrast. It's not color, just the contrast. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So now I just got this guy. And this guy I think mostly looks okay, actually. I'm gonna, once again, kind of fade him out into nothingness like I've been doing. And after that, we'll just give him a few lights. I actually think his shadows look alright. I might blend in a few things first. But otherwise, I think he's looking pretty good. Yeah, just like blend in just a little bit of stuff right around here. And maybe I put in a little bit of shadow just right around there. But there we go. I think that's perfect. And then I'll just put in a few lights right through here. And I think that looks pretty magical. I really like these clouds. I think they look fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and add in all my various filters and stuff. All right. Yeah, I think I can be happy with that. Just gonna add some general lighting here. Just making the areas closer to the light generally lighter. And the areas further away generally darker. Okay, yeah, I think I'll leave it there. That seems good. So now I'm gonna go back to the clouds on the castle, and once again, I do think I need to hide my foreground just so that this way I can have accurate color picking. And for these ones, I'm using slightly different colors. I'm using more red, so like somewhere around there, and then of course the moonlight color. And I also want them to be a little bit wispier. So like the ones here, I don't feel like they're wispy enough, so I'm gonna wisp them. Grab my friend, the smudge tool, and make them a little bit wispier. And it kind of makes me think that when I go and add the highlights and stuff, that I should... Why is the color? Oh, because I'm still on the smudge tool. I thought I switched, but computer disagrees, so... Okay. So yeah, when I go and add the highlights on this one, I'm gonna pull it outward just a little bit. Instead of doing the more dot pattern I was doing here, I'm gonna do more of a streak pattern for these ones. And it'll give a slightly different impression of the... I don't know, more of an eerie fog than a cloud, necessarily. And I think that's kind of what I want for this area. Oh yeah, and then I have this dark spot over there that I am gonna have to do something with. So, alright, let me get kind of the basics down here. As always, the structure is more important than the details. So once I have these kind of structured in a way I want, I can focus on getting the general details in. But if I don't have the structure in, then any details that I put in will all look bad, so I better know what I'm doing first. So here we go. Let's make these ones a little bit more streaky. Okay, I'm glad I went ahead and did the background clouds first. Because otherwise I think I would have put a little bit too much yellow into these ones, and I think they actually look better with less yellow. Kinda separates them from the other clouds. So, worked out. And I am adding a few puffs here and there, just so that they still look like clouds, but again, I do want them to be quite wispy. I do feel like a lot of these clouds are getting bright, so I probably will have to take them back at some point. It's just not quite as easy to do when they're sitting in front of something. But I should be able to just go over them with a brush at the end, just lock the layer, preserve alpha, and then just color over it. I did it for the background clouds too. And I think I'm still on track for finishing this today because I knew the clouds would be the most time-consuming part. The bats I figured would come quickly, and they did. And then after this, I just have a little bit of stuff on the ground and like the water in the moat. And then I want to add a few runes kind of floating around her. And that'll be easy because I just draw them once and then copy and paste it and move things around. And after that, that's... I mean, it's basically everything. After that, maybe do some color correction and final effects and that kind of thing. And that'll be it. So I'm pretty determined to finish this today. I think it's very doable. So we'll end this series off of part 20. I'm very excited. I am very much looking forward to posting this. I think I might try to do a voiceover for the time-lapse that I post for this video. So that I might end up just posting the picture on its own. And then, putting out the time-lapse a little bit later. Actually, the way I'll probably end up doing it is I'll post... I'll go ahead and post it on, like, Twitter and stuff early, and then, on my more gallery-based sites like DeviantArt and Tumblr and places where I don't really want to have to edit the post, I'll go ahead and post there once I have the time-lapse ready. Okay, so I think all these clouds, brightness aside, are looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go get the ones on this side now. I like these. I like these clouds a lot. They're gonna look so good once I put in a little bit more colorization on them. And I might still go back and touch them up as I feel like. Just because I think things are mostly good, it's like, I don't know, if I get some ideas, I might as well use them. All right. Yeah, I think this last corner is probably the last I have to do, because I think the ones over here are all pretty good. Maybe not right there. Maybe right there I should take back just a little, but all through here, I think that's all looking pretty good. Yeah. So indeed, I do believe that this is the last corner. Man, I always get really excited when I'm about to finish a thing. This is why whenever I finish a picture, I don't upload it right away. I do not let myself upload it until the next day. So at minimum, even if I do finish this here today, it's not going to be uploaded until tomorrow at the earliest. I always make myself sleep on it for a day. And then I come back in the morning and take one last look. So I'm the type of person where once I say it's done and I upload it, I never touch it again. I do not let myself ever touch it again. Because if I did, I would work on one picture for like all eternity, and I would never do anything else. The perfectionism would get too strong. So I basically say, once I upload it, it is done. It is done forever. So I like to take just one last look. One last look. And make sure that everything is as I want it to be. And then once I declare it done, I go ahead and upload and... well, it's time to move on to the next picture. So that part I probably won't stream. I normally don't. Just because typically it's done within about 10 minutes. Most of the time, the things that I fix are extremely minor. But nonetheless, I think it's good to do, as a general rule. Just kind of take myself out of the moment for a little bit and make sure that everything is actually as good as I think it is. So with any luck, I'll have this uploaded tomorrow. I'm just always really excited to post the things that I draw on stream. I think it's like the culmination of everything that I've done, and you know, this one was 20 episodes, so it took a while. It did. So that just makes it all the more exciting for me to post it. And I am looking forward to that. Alright, got the last little corner of wispy clouds going here. And then I'll turn on my foreground and I can start checking the colors and the values and just all that good stuff. And I'll see how it all works out. But I guess I should finish it first. I can't help myself. I tend to always be thinking 5 steps ahead, and any time that I turn off my brain in order to actually draw something, because like, I don't need very much brain in order to do this, well, my mind wanders quite a lot. And so I do tend to kind of start thinking about the next 5 steps. I don't actually think it's a very good habit to get into, but I can't help myself. Alright, I just kind of want to stretch things out with the smudge tool a little bit on some of these. Okay. So let's go turn on my layers. And I'll start seeing about taking some of the colors a little bit back and kind of fixing up some of the values. So I got my layer locked and, oops. No, not smudge tool. Airbrush. There we go. And now I'm just going to make some of the areas that I think should be a little bit darker. You know, a little bit darker. As you do. Okay, and then gonna kinda pull back just a few areas here. I kinda want a little bit more of this guy to show. And I think that looks pretty good, so I think I will leave it like that. Yep, I think I can be happy with that. So, let's do the moat. I'll go detail that. I think I'm actually gonna put this layer on top of the castle now. I had it behind it at one point. But with the way things are structured now, I think I'd rather have it here. And I'll just show a little bit of the shoreline there. Okay, and I'm gonna have to turn things off again just so I can actually color pick. We'll take back the shenanigans. I don't have any other, like, filters on here, right? I don't. Okay. So now I can safely pick colors. And I think I'm gonna get rid of all my light here for the time being. I can't see, so I'm actually gonna invert the color. And this will let me just get everything where it needs to go. Smooth out all the edges and stuff, and make sure I am happy with how everything looks. This really is the final stretch. There's not that much more to do. So everything must be perfect now. I'm actually going to erase the rocks here too. I will add them back in a little bit. But first, I just want to get this drawn. Okay, and I believe none of it shows on the other side. Yep, we see some little hints of rock and stuff over there and all of her hair and stuff, but I do not see any sign of water. Oh, what are you? Are you a little bit of moat? You know, I should actually check this. I've got just a bunch of random dots over there, huh? What are you from? Are you just on the rocks themselves? Was that from trying to light the rocks early on? Looks like it. Okay. Oh, that's fine. I'll want to fix that up a little bit, but I don't actually think it really looks that bad, so... I, probably don't gotta do that much for them. Okay. Now then. Let's get some lights in there. How do I want to handle lights? I think I'll take one of the slightly darker spots of the cloud, or one of the lighter spots rather of the cloud there. Just because I feel like if I actually use a bright part of the moon, it'll just be too bright. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of almost tide where it's like rolling up on the side there. I guess it's a river, so I don't really need to do that, but I kind of like it, so I'll roll with that. And then I don't think the moon hits this too strongly. I'll add just a little bit of light water kind of over here where I think the moon will be hitting the strongest. But otherwise, I don't think I'm going to do that much with this. Just some little impression of, I don't know, water things happening, I guess. So, kind of like that. I think that's fine. I might add a few more little bright spots over there, since it is close to the moon. But I think this is fine for now, so I'm just gonna pull things around a bit. Admittedly, I've never tried to draw, like, super realistic looking water, so... And I don't really think I need to for this one. Alright, let's go ahead and add some, like, foam. If I want this to be lapping up on the beach, I do think it needs a little something like this. And then I'm going to take the actual moon color and plop in just a little bit of highlight on the foam right there. And on the water, just right here. Okay. Now I'll just get this doing what I want, I guess. And, I think I need a little tiny smudge. Just right there. Just pull it all into the water here. Not that I'm gonna need some harder lines in order to make this actually look good, but... I didn't like what I had there before, so I figured I'd pull it back a little... and go from there. Okay, let's see if I can get something I like this time. Just gotta keep it subtle. Gotta tell myself that. Don't want to do too much. And I think that's okay, actually. I don't think it needs that much more than that. Let me just get a few little hard lines in the water here. That aren't super airbrushed out. Okay, that's good. I don't think I have to do anything more than that. Maybe just... I say that and then I think of something. It keeps happening. But I think I just want to add a little bit of variation in this little light I've got going there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that's good. So there's moat. Now I want to put the rocks back in the water here. Because I do think it'll look better with just a few little rocks. Breaking up the water just a little. And I think those shapes are fine, so I'll just give them a couple of small lights. I don't want to do too much with these. There, I think that's sufficient. I might even darken the one on the end here, so I'll take the shadow and just kind of plop that down. Let it just kind of vaguely exist. And I think that's fine. So... I think the last thing I really want to do is just a tiny little bit of texturing in the ground here. So I'll just take my lighter color and just kind of... not that one. I had a really good looking rough brush that made everything look a little bit rocky. It's not that one either, but this one doesn't look super bad, so I guess I'll leave it there. Is it this one? This one only looks good when it's big, but it probably was that one, actually. So again, I don't really want to do too much with this. I just thought the ground looked a little dull. So I just wanted to add a little bit of texture to it. Just do some little things, and then I do think I want to get rid of some of the weirder circles back there. So let me get my rock midtone here, and we'll just kind of brush over them a little. Oops. That is the crop button, not the X button. Definitely not what I'm trying to do. Okay, let's go turn the foreground back on. So that's the ground, the water, the bats, the clouds. Yeah, I'd say that this is about done. And the last thing I wanted to add was just a little bit of some of the magic runes she's got going, floating over her. So let's do that. Probably put some behind her too, but let's start with the ones in front. So I will make them the same color as the circle, which I do believe is just a solid white with a kind of hot pink aura around it. So let's see here. I drew a few of those up on the castle. You can't really see them anymore, but they are there. So let's start with the P. I don't know how big I want these to be yet. Okay, then we'll do the big E, and I'm just drawing them right now. I'm not worrying about placement. And the K with an extra line. And then we have R, but pointy. Okay, there we go. And then we have a squid. Okay, and then we have M with an extra line. And then we have just I. Even has the dot, so it's I like my 5-year-old draws it. And then we have M with a face. Okay, then we've got a lava lamp. Okay, and then we've got a stick. There. Alright, now let's go ahead and smooth these out. Can never escape the smoothing, it's fine. But I do want to make sure that they are just right. And I think this effect could add just a whole bunch more cool stuff to everything. It'll just make it look better. I don't know. She's got these little magic runes associated with a bunch of her stuff, so I drew them. And I also see that the lava lamp does not actually connect at the top, so I should fix that before I forget. Where is the lava lamp? Oh, I'm working on the lava lamp. Perfect. So, yeah, at this point, I'm working on basically the final effect. And I think once I get this working out the way that I want it to look, I will be... well, I'll do a little bit of color correction, and then I'll be done. So I think I'm well on track to finishing it today. Very. I am so excited. It's like it's been 20 episodes, so I've been at this for a while. Or rather, you know, this is episode 20. So it'll be nice to finish this one. Okay, I think that's fine. They don't have to be, like, super perfect, so... they just should be relatively clean. These, I think I want to be closer to perfect circles, so... let's do that. Should erase both of them, and I think I'll put the circles in at the end. My line here is off-center, so let's erase him and try again. And so I'm drawing these very carefully, because once I draw them once, I can just duplicate the layer and get as many as I need. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need here. I'm not sure. Okay, so I think that looks all right. Let's get that line going down the middle. There we go, that's much more central this time. And then the little dots here. Okay, and then we have I with a dot. I, like my 6-year-old draws it. I keep forgetting she turned 6 recently, so I still keep calling her 5. Okay. And then we have M with an extra line. Actually, I think this one looks pretty good, so I'm just gonna lightly clean and call that good. Alright. Then we have the squid. Okay. Are you not the squid? You are not. Okay, whoops. Are you in with the extra line still? Yes, I just forgot to switch layers. Fair enough. Okay, let's try that again. I'm glad I found out now and not when I was trying to copy and paste everything. Okay. I think this is about half of them, so I'm getting there. Just as always, sometimes things take a little bit of time. And I'm trying not to rush too much because I gotta tell you, my brain is super tempted to rush through everything right now. But I've gotta tell it no. Be patient. Make sure that it all looks good. You will be sad if things look bad because you rushed. But sometimes it's just hard not to get caught up in the moment when I'm at the end of an illustration I spent a pretty long time on. So I gotta tell my brain, chill out, man, it'll be fine. Okay. Next one. The pointiest R. All right. Okay, how many more do I have left anyway? Everything always feels like so much when my brain is just like the, almost done, almost done, almost done. It just gets very excited. Okay. So next one. Up here, the K with the extra line. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's see, this side is a little bit wobbly. Want to get rid of all those little wobbles. Okay. Next, the pointiest E. Gotta make it extra pointy, of course. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the pointiest E. It would just be a slightly less rounded than usual E. Okay. And now the P. And this is the last one, and then I can start placing them. I will probably keep these ones here for now, and will copy from here. I like to keep an untransformed copy because as you start transforming things more and more, it starts getting a little bit distorted and blurry, and I would like to avoid that if I can. So I just want to keep a clean copy that I can pull from. So that this way everything stays nice and neat. Okay. So that should be good. Now then, I'm gonna put these all into a group. And then I guess I should actually name them. So this is gonna be the P, pointiest E, K with line, pointiest R, the squid, M with line, I with dot, M with face, lava lamp. Oh, lava lamp has a dot in it, doesn't it? Yeah, I forgot the dot. And actually, I'm not entirely happy with lava lamp here. A little bit skewed in a weird way. You know what? I'm actually gonna get rid of this half. I'm gonna clean up this half. And then I'm gonna duplicate this and mirror it. And I'm just gonna use a mirrored copy to make this look a little bit better. I need this part to be a little bit longer, I think. Okay, and let's see. This bit should be more at this angle. My brain must have been extra impatient when I was doing this one, and I don't blame it. Not in the slightest. I certainly understand why I feel this way. But I gotta resist. I gotta take my time. Gotta make sure everything's perfect. That's the nice thing. It's like when it comes down to it, emotions are just information. It doesn't mean you have to do something. You don't have to listen to them. They're just telling you something. But they're not always correct. All right. I have to remember how to do this. Isn't it click and then shift? No. Okay. Because there's a way to let me move things around without, the shift then click then? No. Stop it. Because I would like, well, you know what? It's fine. I can line it up via the base. There we go. That looks a little bit more like the lava lamp. Let me just kind of smooth this out one last time. And then I'll put the dot in the middle and all will be well. Okay, there we go. We got a good lava lamp now. And the last one is just line. Okay. There we go. I got all my bases named. So now I can move them around as I please. So let's see. How exactly am I wanting to do this here? Okay. I'm going to take them out of this group. And I'm just going to have them go in a circle around her. I can kind of see in my head how they're going to wrap around her. So here's hoping I can get this line of runes doing what I want here. I might need to give myself a quick reference, but I'm just going to do it freehand for now. Okay, then we got squid. Gonna let it start turning around here. And not in the group, out of the group. There we go. Okay. And now I want them to start getting smaller as they're going to go around here. I might even apply some perspective to a few of them. I think I will to this one. Right, just make it a little bit more like this. There we go. That looks like it's going a little bit behind her now. So there's M with line. So now I got this eye here. And then after a while, I will actually merge a lot of these down. And I do think I will apply a little perspective to this guy too. Just let him go a little bit back. Okay, so now M with face. And I'll let it go behind her at roughly her arm, I think. That seems like a good spot to me. I think I want you to face this way. Okay. And the next one, lava lamp. So this will just go until then, and I do think I will get each one here. Looks like there's going to be enough space. I actually wasn't sure if I was or not. I didn't think it particularly mattered, but I guess it's nice. Okay, then line. And this line will go behind her arm. I will apply the perspective. Okay, and then I just erase on top of the arm there. All right, now then, I want to get the rest of it that's going to go over on this side of her. So before the P will be the line, so I'll get another line. And I'll start wrapping around this side. And on this side, let's see, it looks like a little bit will go underneath the bat wing. And then I'll have it come around and start looping around her hair on this side. Okay. So now I'm gonna work back the other direction. And... because let me see, if I did this, so I did P, then E, K. So if I work back the other way, then yeah, we have P, then line, then lava lamp. So like that. And I guess, to keep my life easy, I can actually just take all these and move them below the bats, because they don't need to be above the bats. I'll put them below the fog too, actually. I'll put them above, or no. Yeah, I'll put them above the magic circle extra power bits. Okay. So that should be good. This unfortunately means I'll have more distance to drag all my layers, but I gotta make sure that things are lining up well. Okay. So then we have lava lamps, so now we'll do M with face. And at some point, all of these are going to be merged together, so I'm not going to have this just unwieldy bunch of layers going on here. I think this one is actually going to be completely covered up. Okay, then next is I with dot. And here I'm going to want to start getting some pretty extreme perspective going on. So that this way it starts wrapping around her again. Okay. And then we have M with line. Let me see, how did I line this up here? Like this? Okay. Okay. Perspective it. Alright. And then we have squid. Okay, and I think this will be, well, one or two more. This one might be the last one. We shall see. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna need one more. Just one, though. Okay, then R. So right about there, and then I will perspective it, and then I will just erase the excess. And with any luck, this will not look weird once it comes time to add the outer glow. I'm a little bit worried about that, to be honest. But fortunately, there are things I can do if it does. Alright, so there we go. So if I hide my base there, it should look pretty good. I think so. So I'm going to go ahead and merge all these together. I'm just taking a look to make sure I don't hate anything, and no, I think things seem fine. Okay, and then from here, I guess I'll add the effects now. I think a couple of them are going to look a little weird, though, so that's going to be a bit of a thing. Now, just to make them look nice and glowy. Obviously, it won't let me zoom in until I actually close the window, so let's do that. There we go. That's good. Okay, so now they got some of their glowy bits. I think I will even blur them just a little. Just like a little tiny bit. Okay, actually no. I'm not gonna blur them directly. I'm gonna duplicate and blur them on this layer here. I'm debating which one should be blurred. I think it's this one. There we go. That looks nice and glowy now. I am just debating with myself on how this should be structured, so don't worry about it. Okay, now I had it right. Okay. There we go. Alright, and let's see. From there, I think that's the big thing I wanted. I don't want to angle it a little. You know, I should have done that before I did all the effects. Oh well. I just don't like the angle that it's sitting at. That's much better. Okay. Gonna have to do this on 2 layers now, but, you know, such is life. It looks better, and that's what matters. Okay, there we go. That looks much better. So, from there, I think I just want to get a couple more here. And no, I gotta leave it hidden. Hopefully I can pull things out of there safely. And I just want a few kinda flying off in various angles. They'll be very small. I don't want the P there, actually. I want it over here. Okay, so time to flop things around again. And they'll all be pretty small. But I just want to make it look like they're flying around and, you know, doing interesting things. Looking at the time and sweating a little, but I'm trying not to rush. It's okay. This is the last thing. And then I do a little bit of color correction, which is fast, generally. And then that'll be it. Gotta tell my brain not to panic, because it likes to do that. It is a fan of panicking for no reason. It's just what it does sometimes. But it's okay. I think once I get this group in, I can do some duplication cheating. I don't want to do that close to another lava lamp. I want it to be over here then. Okay, so I'm gonna merge all of these. And I do think I will have to do some more manual stuff, but just to fill in some space. I'll go ahead and duplicate it and just kind of, you know, move things around. Huh. One of these layers got moved somehow. Okay. There we go. Now all is well. No, it's not. What happened here? Okay, well, I merged the layers, duplicate. Okay, there we go. I don't know what that was all about, but that sure happened. So I'll go ahead and mirror this. Just to kind of get some going on that way. Plop a few over here. Okay, and then some of these will just kind of be faded a little, I guess is the right word. So I'm going to lower the opacity a bit, and I will apply the glow. Let me zoom in for this. I'm not going to be able to get the color, though, so let me get the color first. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now I can pick that. Still sad that you guys can't see the window, but it is what it is. Okay, get them nice and glowy. Can I merge? I can. Excellent. Now then, I'm gonna take them back a little. And just make them not super strong. These ones not as strong. But there we go. I just wanted to add a little bit to the magic circle too. Or the power coming off of it. It seemed like her general style here. So we got the big ring, and then we just got some little random things happening. Okay. And I think that's good. Alright, so color correction time. I can finally turn on this curves layer that I had for a long time. Just because there was something early on that was bothering me, and I needed it. So now I'm gonna tweak it. I'm just upping the contrast just a little bit here. Okay. So, another case. Unfortunately, you guys cannot see my windows. I don't have a window up right now, but most of this is going to be window-based, so... Alright, so first thing I'm doing here is I am blurring everything, and then I'm going to take back the areas that I don't want to be blurry. So I'm just using my airbrush to erase them. This is mostly just to make the corners a little bit blurry. And I have to ask myself, do I like her hair? Because I think the answer is no. Okay, hold on. I'll do that again in just a second, but I remembered that I wanted to revisit the little color that I have on her back hair to blend it into the background a bit. Where the heck is it? I have too many layers. Blend. Here we are. So I would like to actually blend it with the colors that exist there now, which is mostly clouds, so different from what I had before. So I do need to touch that up just a little. This is strong, but that's fine. I will reduce the opacity to fix it. But now I know exactly what colors will be there, so I can more accurately start plopping in things here and make it stand out just a little bit less. Okay, there we go. Now I will do my blurring. But it's important because the way that I do this is I copy all the layers and paste them on one layer. So if one layer is a little bit off, it will look wrong. There we go. Now I just start de-blurring the parts that I don't think should be blurred. Which again is strictly speaking most things. So this is mostly just for corners and other little things, like there's going to be a little bit of blur in the clouds and stuff like that. And a little bit on her hair here, actually. Okay. So now I'm going to make another one. So once again, I have pasted the projection. And if you look at it with the projection on versus off, you can see most of it is unblurred, but you can see those little places that I blurred. So you can see a little bit like here, for example. And I actually think that I have the snake up here a little bit too blurry, so I'm gonna fix that. There's little parts of the castle that are blurred. I think I actually have a little bit too much there. And you can also see it like in the clouds. So I do like having a little bit of that. And so now this projection, sometimes I use this effect, sometimes I don't. I blur it again until it just feels... Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Just a little bit blurry. So like right about there. And then I stick it in like soft light or something. And it kind of adds, I don't know, contrast and stuff. But I think here it's not really working for me. It doesn't always. I actually kind of like it on her. I just don't really like it in the background. And it does make parts of her a little bit too hot. I'm turning the layer on and off just to kind of test it out. And I do think I like it overall, I just don't really like it over here. So I used an airbrush to kind of erase it. Okay. I'm considering how I feel about the sky here. Like, it may be a minor corner, but I still gotta think about these things, and I think it's fine. Okay. I think we're good. So let's see. Now, I'm gonna do a color balance layer. So that's artistic, adjust color balance, and I need to get this in a good spot before I bring up that window. Okay. So this will let me do a bunch of stuff with the colors overall. You can see I can make really big changes if I want. I normally don't. I think my color sense is pretty good, so I very rarely have to change that much. But sometimes I change just a little bit. And the way I do it is I just adjust the sliders and look. There's no particular secret or anything. Just, you know, look at it. If it's better, keep it. If it's not better, then fix it. Okay, so let's see. On and off. Is it better? You know, I like what I did with the clouds, but I don't really like anything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this whole thing like black. Because the way it works is that typically they have like a transparency mask. And so when you paint it black, that makes it, that gets rid of the transparency. I think it works the same way here. Yeah, and so I like over there. I don't really like down here. I don't really like anything on her, but I liked what it did for the clouds. So I'll go ahead and just keep it like that here. And then I think I'm just going to select the character here. And I will add another one. And with that selection, it should only apply it to her specifically. Let me just make sure. Sure does. Perfect. So now I can make any adjustments I want to her colors. And again, I very rarely change that much. But sometimes I do change a little bit. And that little bit can make all the difference. So just to give you an idea of the difference here. So this is with and without one. So you can see it made the clouds a little bit yellower and the background over here a little bit bluer. But that's about all I changed. And then the other one that's on her, you know, without with, it just kind of deepened the shadows in her dress mostly. And the rest is about the same. I think I made her face just like slightly redder. And I think that is it. So that's all the effects in. I like to take a little bit of time to just turn things on and off and make sure that I actually like them. I'm wondering if this castle's a little bit blurry. Maybe just a touch. I don't think I want to completely get rid of the blur effect, but I thought it was a little bit too strong. Oh, I am on the wrong layer. That would explain why it didn't feel like it was making any difference. Being on the wrong layer will do that to you. Noticed a few strands were disappearing there too, and I want them back. And I think I want the tiara to be just a little bit less blurry there. Okay. Yep, I think I like them all. And so, I do believe that this is the final state. So there we go. I think I am done. So I'm gonna put my pen down and just look at things for a second. And, you know, I'm pretty happy. I think it came out really well. So I'll take one last look at it tomorrow, and then I will post it in a few places, and I'll try to get the time-lapse for it up as quickly as I can. I think a little bit is going to be missing because I ran out of disk space somehow while taking some of my stream recordings. I have a recording without all my overlays and stuff, without my model and everything in the running in the background. And unfortunately, I think one day I just ran out of disk space and didn't notice, so I'm pretty sure I lost a little bit of footage, which is sad. But it's alright. I will figure out something for those. Maybe I can find the episode where it happened and just use stream footage for that part. But anywho, I think I want to try to do a voiceover. We'll see how I feel about that. But I'm pretty happy with the result. She looks just excellently sinister, and the background complements it perfectly. So I do hope to be able to draw more stuff like this in the future, because it was definitely a great time. I love just going hard on atmosphere, man. It's like the best part. So I think next, I don't know. I got the urge to draw some stained glass-esque stuff with pseudo-religious themes again. So I blame day 3 of Inktober. I had too much fun drawing that, so I was like, you know, let's do a real thing instead of just a silly speed paint. So that'll probably be what I do next. And yeah, I guess that'll be Sunday. Unless I just look at this tomorrow and I'm just like, man, what the heck was I thinking? I need another day to fix a bunch of stuff. But I doubt that'll happen, and so Sunday will probably just be something new. Alright, well, I'm happy. Always nice when finishing a new thing, especially one that I spent a pretty good amount of time on. So, I suppose this is where I will stop for today, and for this picture forever. And we'll do something new on Sunday. A good day. Alright, well, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today, too. Well, I mean, it's all out there in VOD form. So, any that you miss, you can always just go find the VOD. I keep them all in playlists, so they're nice and easy to find. But I will see you all tomorrow.